everyone, and welcome to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is December the 8th, 2023, and it's 9:30 p.m. and welcome. Tonight I've got a lot of tea to spill with you and a lot of thank yous, a Harper update, her Harper quilt, working on the Finch, and I want to give you an update on we've got the date set for our Just Squirreling group for our supporters. So with all of that being said, I'm going to slip into the chat and welcome everyone here tonight. So let me see. I'm just going to go from my cell phone, babe. I have the monitor blocked over here. So Sheila Fudge, hello. Where is everyone? They're out Christmas shopping, evidently. Per Mr. Joe. Susie Gabbard, hello. Welcome, Susie, and thanks, baby. Sheila. Two people out there. I know, right? Definitely. Janine, hello, sweetheart. Everyone's chatting amongst themselves. Renee, hello, Donna and Joe. Barbara, hello, Donna, Joe, and everyone. Catherine, hello, sweetie. Annette J, hello, everyone, my little squirrel. I just adore these little squirrels. When you see them in green, they're our channel supporters. Debt-Free Quilter, hey, Susie Gabbard. They've now got stars by their name, and I think that's so cool as well. Correction, hey there, everyone. Susie's welcoming everyone. Let me see. Hey, we go. Get ready. Yes, Susie's doing the countdown with Mr. Joe. Cat Gallery, hello, everyone. Linda Denton, hello. Elaine, let me see. My chat jumped here on my phone. Hi, Donna. I'm here, was watching your Bargello video. That's going on my 24 to-do list. I'm telling you, I've got another one that's going to be rolling out. I just got to figure out the date, and then I'll get that dropped with the exact date. Confident Quilter, hello, Miss Gladys. Sassy Girls in the house. Let me see. I think I'm caught up. Hey, Sassy, how you doing? Okay, I'm caught up on the chat. So, is everyone ready for Christmas? It's coming so fast, right? Same time every year, but it seems like the older we get, the quicker it comes. So, let me give you the date for our Just Squirreling. So, if you're the paid members, our meeting date / Zoom is going to be December the 16th, noon to 3. That's a Saturday. I'm trying to keep them on Saturdays when I'm not traveling. So I will repeat that again this evening at some point. I want to move that little Post-it note so it doesn't tip over on me. And that's going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about the exploding heart, going over the final details because that's going to kick off for us in January. And we're only going to be working on it when we're sewing together. And hopefully that should get us through. I'm estimating about 4 or 5 months. And then we'll segue into the next project. Jacqueline, hello. She made it to the live. Yay. And let me see. What else do I got to tell you about? Blocks are coming in for the Harper quilt. And I'm telling you what, this is just a preliminary layout. And we have got some really stunning blocks. I should have wrote down everybody's names that have mailed in, but I didn't. So let me just do it this way. Dahlia has mailed blocks. Susan Shade mailed a block. L. Fisher mailed blocks. Annette J mailed blocks. And Lord Lenny mailed blocks. And Annette J. So that's the blocks that we have. And then Brenda Foley mailed fat quarters that have been cut down into what we are dubbing the filler blocks. So I think it's coming along. I've just got it pinned to the board right now. The girls and I have been talking, and I believe I'm going to do sashings, maybe some cornerstones. We're going to have to figure working all of that out yet. But it's really coming along, and I'm quite pleased. I'm going to do a black and white shot of it and then start moving the blocks around. But I'm not going to touch it again until this week. I have a few people that have emailed me and said they're mailing blocks. So I don't want to fool with it. Other than we've got a preliminary block count. I'll probably end up with another row down here. And then that's going to make it the 5x5 now. It's probably going to go like 5x6, 5x7. So that's just a rough estimate. And I'm going to take you along for that journey. If I still have the lion on the long arm, then this one will be done on the domestic. And I'll just come down each of the seams and do that. And then maybe put a little bit of knot quilting in with yarn. And I just think that might tie that one together. Harper likes to fidget with stuff. So I'm trying to think outside of the box with that. There is a frog block that was mailed in. I think it's adorable, but it's too pretty to put in the quilt, and Harper needs an arm pillow, so I will be turning that into a pillow for Harper, and I can't remember who mailed that one in, but it's beautiful. It's got buttons on it, and as she's sitting with her arm elevated and things, she likes to fidget and touch things, so I think that'll be the perfect answer. As far as a Harper update, I'll give you that real quick. Harper has now officially been listed for heart transplant, and now we sit and wait. And as more information on that becomes available, I will let you know. If we would get a call during the night or something, Joe and I'll be going to Pittsburgh to be with Harper throughout that procedure with the other grandparents and the parents and probably aunts and stuff, because this is a big blessing that someone's going to be bestowing. And when God opens that door, we're going to be there with her. She is doing phenomenal in her recovery with physical therapy, occupational therapy. So she's doing really well. They're quite pleased. She's now eating the 1,800 calories a day they need her to eat, and she's regaining strength. She loves all of the gifts that everybody has been sending her. Her parents originally was just storing those over at the Ronald McDonald House, but daily they bring more over to her, let her fool with them, open them, play with them, and then when she's ready, they'll bring more over and take some back. So they're just giving her a wide variety of everything that's going to help her in her recovery. So I think I've got just about everything covered. So let's talk Finch a little bit. Hello, everyone. Let me see. I made it. Welcome, Jacqueline. And the girls are working the chat for me, and I humbly appreciate my moderators. And when you see them in blue, they've all got their own little jobs they do, and they are amazing. And I couldn't be more pleased with each and every one of them. So for a little bit of the back history on this little Chip the Finch. If you haven't seen him yet, he is adorable. This is my buddy I'm working on right now. Beth over at Goody Goods. She was a tester, and she found out she was expecting, so I drove her nuts enough, teasing her and picking on her, that Finch got put in the closet or in the box or whatever. So she graciously mailed him to me so that I can finish him up. And she told me to keep him. So we'll see how that rolls. But for right now, the idea is I'm just going to work this project. I've got the lion on the long arm, and starting on Monday, I'll have others on the chat with me, and Joe will have my camera set up on the long arm, and I'll be able to show you a bit of what I'm doing there. I am doing each block, every angle of it has a different design going into it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Joe, welcome, sweetheart. I loved your video. I shall dub Carmel, Quilts by Carmel. She's our girl. I just love her dearly. And if you haven't watched her video yet on the 12 days of Quiltmas, you need to go over and check it out. She is quite the overachiever, and I love her. She did a quilt pillow, a table runner, and a table topper, all out of the 12 fat quarters. Now tell me this girl didn't nail it. I sat there and I'm telling you what, I was like, whoop, picked my chin up off the floor. She did phenomenal. And whoever wins Joe's is going to be blown away. Let me see. I just got on, watched the beginning when you were talking about the quilt for Harper. Hey, Kate. How is Harper doing and how do we donate to this? Anybody that would like to donate for Harper, if you would just please send me an email and I can give you that information. We are doing it through the channel as well, but YouTube takes 30%, and we did not know that when we originally broke asking for help. But anybody that does wish to donate on Harper's behalf, if you would like, we'd humbly appreciate. But Joe will drop our email in, and you can shoot me an email and just put in the subject line Harper, and I'll give you a few suggestions. You can either mail a check to our P.O. box. You can go to the kids' GoFundMe, but GoFundMe takes a percentage of that as well. So there's just whatever you feel the good Lord lays on your heart. And the kids would humbly appreciate it. I sent a block, but don't see it or hear my name. Kate, I have not gotten it yet. But I'll stand up and aim the camera at the block because there's a whole row up here as well. So you might be able to see that. I'm not sure. So let me bring the camera, and don't mind my Hot Mess Express. Let me know if you see your block. Right now I've got filler blocks in where you see all the dogs and the cats separate. And it's just laid out to give me an idea of how big it's going to be. But, Miss Kate, I have not, because I've kept everybody's envelopes. So far I have L. Fisher, Annette J., Lord Lenny, and Shady Susan, and Delia Short. But I have gotten emails that's telling me that blocks are coming. So I just don't have it yet, but it doesn't mean it's not coming. I did check the mail today, and I did not see it out there. Hold on a second. I don't understand what you're asking. I have nothing humming here. Joe's hearing something, so he was asking me about it. Thank you for inviting me to participate. It was super fun. It was so fun watching all of the videos. How's Harper's feeling? I have my fan on. I can't tell you, baby. So, sorry about that. Joe's hearing something and he's trying to locate it. So, let me get back to the chat and back to the video. So, Joe has dropped the link. Hi, Kate. Joe Cornell. If you came in late, I'll wrap up one more time on Harp because I'm still getting it in the chat. First and foremost, we as a family are thanking you for your love and prayer and support for Harper and our families, because no one walks this alone, and together it's a village. And we believe strongly in the power of prayers, and that's what's gotten her this far. Harper talks a lot about how she met Jesus and how he sent her back, and he's not ready for her yet. She's still talking about that. She's working with a life coach who is explaining to her about the heart transplant and how, at her level, what to expect and how this is going to work for her. It's really, really hard, as you could imagine. And she's just got a long way to go. She is, the feeding tube's out. She is now eating by mouth. She's taking all of her meds by mouth now every day. And, let me see. I'm trying to remember everything to tell you. Anybody wishing to donate, please send an email. We'll let you know the mailing address to mail a check. YouTube does take a large portion of that. I believe it's 30%. And, the kids just need all the love and support they can get right now. And that's the grown ones. My son did return back to work today. And, as soon as we get the call that Harper gets a heart, and it's the right heart for Harper. We will all be going to Pittsburgh for that. So that's the update on Harper. She's doing fabulous in her physical therapy. They're doing strength training exercises with her now. And she's just got a long way to go. And she's going to get there. And thank you, everybody that's coming in from over at Becca's. My prayers are especially with you and your family, and especially Harper. Thank you, Jacqueline. We ask that you also pray for the donor family, because this is not an easy decision for them. And I just can't imagine. And someone at the right time will become a donor for Harper. And we're going to be blessed. And all we can say is thank you. But in the meantime, we just continue to pray that Harper continues to get stronger every day. So the ones that are coming in late, or not late, but coming in from over at Becca's, thank you guys for coming. Tonight we are working on the Finch pattern. Beth over at Goody Goods blessed me with this kit, and I'm working it up now. And it's a little dark on my side, but it is beautiful. I think the Finch is adorable, and I've been picking on Beth for a little bit about it. So she finally got tired of me ribbing her, and she boxed it up and sent it along to me. So that's kind of funny, and there's a long backstory on that. And this Finch is going to come full circle, but we'll have to see how all that plays out. Let me see here. Iris Tail Lady, hello. Melissa Makes Quilts. Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining in. June Billings, hello. Becca sent you over. Hello, Becca. She's in the house now, and thank you for sending your crew over tonight. I humbly appreciate it. Katie's in the house. Let me see. I'm just double checking. Martha's in the house. Thank you. And back to Joe Carmel. Girl, check your email. I did send you an email, and I need you to give me a call tomorrow. I believe in that email I gave you my phone number. I need to chat with you about another project, and just give me a ring-a-ding. It'll be a fun one. So Elaine, good evening. Let's say Becca. Let me see. Pat Boo's in the house. So anyway, let me tell you about subscribers while I'm on the soapbox here. Pat Strawhouse just come in. Hello. Hi, Joe the Tech Man. I'm so my listening all the way from Ohio. No, Ontario. Sorry. Hit the like button. Thank you. Okay. My subscribers, Becca and I have been talking for quite some time, and it's always been my goal at my 2-year mark, which will be April, that I hit 10,000. We're going to be going to QuiltCon in February. So, with that being said, Becca jokingly says, hey, when you hit 10,000, I'm going to make you a button. And I was like, what? And she goes, you know how they do the big plates when you hit the 100,000. So, the girl is on a mission to hit my 10,000 before QuiltCon. Is it doable? Yes, but I can't do it without all of your help. So what I need you to do is to help me so I can get this amazing button and showcase it at QuiltCon from Becca, and then show you guys. That's my goal. And we've got 2 months to do it in. I need 600 more subscribers. That's a lot. But February, March, April, whether it be really for February or not, it would be a blast. That way I could say, girl, we did it, because we grow together. So if you're watching my channel, I ask that you please share. It's up to me to keep them here when they get here. It's up to my friends all across the world to please share my channel. We were one away from 9,400 when we went live today, and I don't normally watch numbers, but I happened to check today before going live. So, anyway, I've been really hitting hard this Finch because I have a goal for it. And my goal would be to try to get it off my plate by mid next week. And I was thinking 2 more weeks, but I got the opportunity today while I'm back here with Joe to go ahead and work on the Finch. So I'm going to show you where I'm at and what I've got done so far. But I want to talk to you about the lion. The lion is loaded. It's on the long arm, and I've got 2 passes so far done. Monday night, while we're on the live for the lion, I'll be working at the long arm and be able to show you all of the multiple different angles that's in it. Every one of them along the way, I'm doing a different quilting in each block. They're going to be straight lines, whether they're coming this way, this way, this way, this way, until I get down into the face. And then I have a special tool that I'll be doing, like, it'll look like little tiny clamshells to bring that out. That's my goal. So I believe that it's going to look awesome when it's done. You can do 600. You got this. We'll share your videos. Thank you, Melissa. Anybody out there that's a content creator or subscriber, please share my channel. I humbly appreciate it. So let me see. The Harper quilt. I'm still taking blocks till next Saturday. So if you're interested and you want to make a block and feel free to send it, but it would have to be in the mail by Monday. My goal is next weekend, while I'm on with my Just Squirreling group, I'd be able to talk to the girls about our project, because we're going to be kicking off in January the Exploding Heart quilt with Just Squirreling. That's my channel supporters. And I'd like to get this one done and hopefully get it to Harper in time for Christmas. And every time she wraps up in it, cuddles with it, or takes it to the playroom, whatever the case may be, she's going to have hugs from each and every one of you that put those in. So thank you. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So that's a lot of talking, right? So let me show you where I'm at. This quilt comes with 16 blocks. So I want to make sure I'm giving you the right measurements. It's going to finish at 30 by 40. And this was one of the earlier patterns, so it doesn't tell you on the outside cover how many colors are in this one. It is not showing. But what Legit Kits does is gives you the pattern size. Joe's got me down here. And thank you, sweetheart. But anyway, the Finch is just stinking adorable. I was trying up here when I was working into the eye area. Every time I do a Legit Kit or any other pattern that has an animal, I always like to put a little twinkle in the eye. I could not get that accomplished. I ripped that eye out, I know, 10 times. So it was just not meant to be, because there's 2 different wee little tiny pieces that's like 1/8 of an inch that I could not squeeze that in without totally jamming it up. So with that being said, I do have a friend that'll be able to help me put a little twinkle in that eye, because she does fabric painting. And I think that'll just tie that off. So far I have all of A done. All of D is done and joined together, and I'll show you those. And I'm working across B, and I believe I have C4 done or ready to do. So what I do when I'm doing a Legit Kit is, I can show you these. I always break my kits down like this. Let me get to the bottom of it. Trying to do it this way. So after I get the fabric on, I just line up my pattern, so then when I have a free moment to sew, I can just sew all the pieces together. I lay them out, I match them with my assembly guide. I don't even look at this. I just look at this to make sure that all of my pieces are here. Then I'll do that and set this aside. I've done the same here, and I've got some of the sewing where I've joined it together, and I'll talk about a couple spots here and how to beat those into submission before we join that. So the key is always check after you've completed all of your parts to make sure they're there. Then as you're assembling, mark them off. Then I've got B1. I've just finished, but I've got to really beat these seams because I'm not happy with the seams. They're a little too bulky yet for me. So that's what I've been working on. So today I've gotten 4 blocks done. So this is my B4. And after it's done, I will be going over it and possibly picking the paper out. I'm not sure how I'm going to work this one yet. But let me show you how cool these are coming out. Don't mind all of the lengths and the strings all over it, because trust me, it's there. But this is the Finch's top of his head. And as you can see, there's multiple little tiny pieces in here. Right here and right here and right there. This is all the outside edge. There was no way to get that any tighter than it is. So that will be lost in quilting. But as you can see, anytime you're doing a legit kit, you just work it, pull it out, work it until you can get it in. And then this is the D block. And I'm trying to lay it down so that you're going to be able to see the order of it. And then this is going to be the branches. And this has been interesting. Getting all of the branches all to line up. So the easiest way to do that when you're doing a legit kit is after you pin it, your corners on the end, you're going to stick a pin in and pull back paper to make sure all of these have a little pin in. So when you join them together, they're going to line up really well for you. Now this one here, I'm a good 1/8 of an inch off, but I think I can live with it. Because that's the size of the pattern piece right there. I can take the paper out and stretch that, but then that's going to put all of these guys off. So I'd rather have that little bit right here than worry about 3 other pieces being off. So that wee little one I can live with. And as you can see, what you're seeing right here is this going straight across. Thank you, Jackie. I thought it was 83, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to misspeak. Donna, we've been following Harper's progress on Facebook. We're so glad things are going so well for her. That is one child that has been kissed by the angels. Absolutely. I tell you what, she has been through more than any child should ever have to endure. But God has a reason, and this is her season, and we're just going to pray her through it. And the testimony this child's going to have when this is all over, she's going to touch many, many lives on top of the ones she already has. Doctors have told us that she is one very, very strong little girl. And we're so blessed for her strength and perseverance, because a lot of kids that faced all of the challenges that she has, we're not sure what the outcome would have been, but Harper is one very strong little lady. So let me see, what is the size of Harper's blocks? They're 10.5, and then they'll set in at 10. There's 839 pieces. Yeah, it's not on the outside of the pattern. And thank you for sharing that. A little late, but made it. Hello from Washington State. Hello, Ann. Donna, let me see. I'm trying to catch the chats. I'm going to take a quick drink and then we're going to get stitching. So I've been sewing a little bit on blocks 3B, but I'm going to set that aside. And let me get these pieces because I don't want to tie anyone up a whole lot tonight. So I'm going to sit these out of my way and put a little clip in them. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to get these puppies worked up. And a couple little tips and tricks on paper pulling while I've got you, because I won't get the opportunity after tonight to show you anything on it. Because the goal is to get this baby finished up this coming week. So let me get this out of the way. That way. Oh, up here. This is what I was trying to show you. Anytime I'm doing blocks, I forgot I laid it on top of the long arm. I take all of the pieces and I get the assembly guide. I do a piece count. So I know how many pieces I have. I do a piece count when I start, just to make sure that when I'm done and I've got them all, then I lay them out. And then I start marking them off every step of the way. And it's just something that helps me streamline when I'm working. After tonight's live, I'll have 3 blocks left on the Finch. And my goal would be to finish it up this weekend. And we always need goals, right? So my B1F, as it says, this block is finished in its entirety, but I'm not happy right here because when this hits the long arm, everything's lined up exactly as it should. And I've gotten a few emails on how can I make that lay a little bit flatter. This right here. You will beat this puppy into submission. For those that really, really like your blocks to lay super flat, all you have to do is use your acorn pen. I run my nails down and try to get the block as flat as I can. And then I just tap it. You're not like going over your head and coming down. But all you're going to do is tap it. And you're going to go along all of these real big bulky seams. And this is going to help break that fabric apart that's going to make it want to lay flat. And this is all you're going to do along all of these little clunky parts. And then you're going to, like right here where it's not laying to suit me, I will hit it with the acorn pen. And this is not an ironing board, but I'm just doing it right here to show you. And just lay the heat on it. It's not going to hurt it at all. Yes, she does have a strong family. I'm telling you. Yes, I will be there. Let me see. QuiltCon should be a good time for everyone. I'm trying to see the chats. And then I just count to about 10. And then up here where I've beat these, I will honestly just lay the heat to it. And that's going to help lay these just a little bit flatter for me. This block I had already done, measured, and it's fine. I just don't like it when it gets all swirly. I make sure I've got all my papers out of my seams. And then I always turn it over even. And just make sure that it's good and flat. I don't like my blocks at all. If there's bumps and things, I like to make sure that it's all just good and flat. So I can say this one is now done, and I'll set it aside. And then we're going to join the last couple pieces here, but I do have, like I said, I wanted to show you here because I'm going to have to beat these into submission. I have this to join here. Then this block will be finished. I'm a wee little bit off here on my seam, but I can live with that. And then here, as you can see, it's anywhere you have this extra bulk where you've joined multiple seams. Take your hammer, take your rubber mallet, and just tap it. And all that's going to do is help lay it flat. Once you feel comfortable with it, move on to the next one. And I've already got all of my paper picked out. And sometimes you miss the paper as hard as you try not to. And when you beat it, you're going to see little tidbits come out. Just like this. And you'll be able to snag it out of there. Because I try my best to get all of the paper. And then like here, I've got the clunky seams. Do not be afraid to beat it. Because I'm telling you, it has to go flat. Trying to make sure. Wow, that's awesome. Precise sewing. Thank you. It's slow and steady. And stay focused on what you're doing. And this will come together really easy. I'm finding that the smaller ones are challenging. But challenging in a good way. It's going to test your skill. It's going to hone your piecing. And it's just all over. I enjoy the challenge. And you're going to learn tips and tricks along the way anytime you're doing FPP or any other projects. Should this have a rubber mallet? I've seen them with the rubber mallets, and I've seen them do them without. I just want to make sure that when a needle hits this, it's not going to break the needle. And if you've got it beat flat enough, that needle's going to just zoom right through it. So acorn juice. Sheila, maybe it's not time to be hazy. Let me see. Maybe put away until your attitude changes. Wait a minute. I'm working on Hazy Hills and not enjoying it so far. I love everything about it, but maybe I have a bad attitude. Oh, Sheila, I'm sorry, babe. I have not started mine, and it's literally sitting on the shelf behind me. I do know that that is a fun one. It's going to be a smaller project. And anytime that you're doing legit kits and these are smaller, you need to really stay focused. If you've got everything laid out and it's marked up, I have not even opened my package yet, and I'll open that here in a second. You can let me know where you're having trouble. And if it's something while I'm here tonight I can help you with, I would love to help you, because no piecing should be hard and give you a fit. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy the journey. Let me see. Janine, got your blocks in the mail. Let me see. I might need to have someone quilt juice work it. Okay, yep. The acorn juice, I'm telling you, it's amazing. Glad we aren't there. Donnas with a hammer. You guys, I love you. I'm pulling after midnight. So tonight, up until the rooster crows. We're going to be pulling an all-nighter from the looks of it with my girls. Tried hammering a seam into submission and ended up with a hole. No. You beat it like this, like what you saw me do. And then you just feel and see if it's going flat. You can tell when that fiber breaks. You don't want to ever rip holes in your fabric. But what you want to do is get it to lay flat. And then you know that when you're quilting it, it's going to lay really nice. And it's not going to jump with the machine. Your long arm or domestic won't break your needles. Patch that sucker. Absolutely. What quilt was it? Not that it matters. But now, as you can see, I've got them really flat. Now, this one's not flat enough to suit me. So, while it's warm, that's the best time. If you've got a temperamental seam, just feel it. And this one here. It's nice and warm and toasty. With the acorn juice still damp. Just count to like 5 or 10. It's not going to burn your fabric. I usually have no issues with seams matching, but for whatever reason, this one's not behaving. I hate that, babe. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Not a clue. I'm trying to follow along with you. Oh, the block for Harper. I have not gotten it yet, baby. But if it comes, it will be included. And if it comes after I've got the quilt piece, it will become a pillow. Because she loves pillows. So either way, it's a win-win and we appreciate it. So just line up your corners like you normally would. Don't mind my stringy boards. I have a reason for leaving them get stringy this go around, because I'm going to be doing a test on a new product out. And I needed to have really, really stringy boards. So tomorrow morning, Joe and I will be doing a record and giving you our honest opinion on a new lint roller that's on the market. We've been asked to test it, and test it we shall. So I needed to let all of that funk get on there. So now you're going to watch for these lines. And as you can see, when you flip it over, they're here as well. I always like to flip my block. As you can see, that's not lined up very well. So I'll turn it around. Even though it's lined up here in the corner, I'm going to want to pull this up and make sure that I'm tucked right in. And right here is where I'm going to start clipping. You don't want it to slip right here because it's going to put you all off of alignment all the way. And here where I need to line up, I'm going to stick a pin in it. Because you really want to make sure that these line up everywhere they're supposed to. So I just pull back, look at where the alignment needs to meet, and then I go dead center where the X is, X on that side, and pin. And that's how you get the perfect seam. A few blocks, haven't reached Donna yet. Exactly. Mods, any other specs on Harper's blocks besides the 10? Moderator, Day, can you answer that for me, please? It's probably got lost in the mail because it has been about 2 or 3 weeks now since I mailed it. I'm sorry, Kate. I do not have it. And I cannot control the mail. But I do appreciate it. And then just so slow when you get up to your pin or clip, just slow down, stop, and pull it out. You'll hear this from everyone that does these. Slow and steady. Keep your stitch length at 1.8 or 1.6, whatever is your normal. And make sure that you do not sew over your needles. That's the ultimate goal. As you can see, you've got little dog ears here. The easiest way to tell if you're in alignment is right here, just like this. I'm going to lay this down. As you can see, that's lined up before I do anything else, because now's the time I would want to date my jack, you know, and I'm lined up right there. So what I'm going to do is really simple. I'm going to cut my dog ear off because I have no need for it now. I've got one right here as well. And then I'm going to come up to this one and just snippy, snippy. Going to open it up, and as you can see, I'm lined up everywhere that I stuck that pin. That's your key pivotal points when you're lining them up. Fold your papers and just rub this down. I do a lot of really fine picking out because I don't like paper in it at all, and I will set the extra and get it out. No one's ever going to rip your quilt apart and see if there's any extra paper in there, but for some reason, I just prefer to have as much out as possible. Becca has a technique that she dampens this when she's ripping her seams. She has a little pin. She's given me one, and it's in my drawer, and I forgot to put fluid in it tonight. But it'll pull this out really quick for you. So I've got all of that. I have a bucket. So now all we're going to do is, I always pull these tight. Take my fingernail and get down through before I ever get the heat on it. And I just walk the seam. The easiest way to do it. And then you're going to get to the bump in the seam. And you're just going to finger press. It's going to help you when you get it over here under the iron. I've seen some people take the iron and put it right at the corner. You do what works best for you. This is the way that Donna does it, and it works really well. So I've got it now to where it's laying flat. And I'll give it the heat for the first go round. Sorry, I didn't see your address. Thank you, Dave, for dropping it. And if you guys want to spam the chat, just copy, paste, and drop my email. That way everybody has, not email, but my mailing address. I would humbly appreciate it. Leaving the bestie's house, heading home. Okay. So now I've got that seam hot. So while it's hot, I'm going to just go ahead and tap those seams and get them good and flat. Then I'm going to take my acorn juice and I'm going to slide down the seam. And like I said, there's no quilt police out here that's going to actually look at your quilt on the inside to say, "Ooh, that seam's open or closed." But I like the looks of a closed seam that's wide open and laying good and flat. So I will be going over these with a lint brush tomorrow, and it'll really tidy them up. I have this one string that is driving me crazy right there. So we've got B2 done and moving right along. And now got that one. Let's do C4. This one's got a good bit of piecing. So what I'm going to do is I've just laid it out. I've done no piecing to it so you can see from the beginning to end how to work these if you have not done it before. So I have my highlighter. Let me get a drink and then we're going to get this puppy put together. Well, thank you guys for staying with me tonight and hanging out. It's always a pleasure to have you. So my directions is telling me to take C and Myriad today. So I'm going to look all over until I find C. So we're just going to keep sliding these parts around. And it's not always right up here and coming down. You've just got to really move your parts around until you're getting the right ones into the right spots. I just literally laid this out. So I'm taking my C, and that's right here. I'm going to take this one and marry it here. So they're trimmed up, and I'm just going to flip them over. Is that not pretty? Gorgeous. So lay them together. Stick a pin in and see if you're coming through on the other side. And if it's not coming through where you need it to, just pull it out. Right now is the time to do it. And then I don't even stick it anywhere. I just leave it sticking straight up for now. Lay this one in. And then I'm going to stick the pin straight through this side. Flip it over and come through the back. And you're just going to work it until you can get it in. And once I have it laid like that, I'm going to make sure that my inside seams, before I do anything else, is going to line up. It's in a good spot, so I'm going to clip it here. And then I'm going to clip here. And that's simple. Got the hole in my hummingbird quilt I'm trying to do for my daughter. Found some beautiful hummingbird panels and did the chevron. Where the seams met, it was thick. I tried tapping the seam down and got a hole. Oh my goodness. I hate that. I'll make the block this weekend and mail it out on Monday. Thank you. So I use the heat first to warm it up, and then I do the tapping. Because believe it or not, it's easier to warm the fabric, and it's going to go into submission a lot quicker for all intents purposes. Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. You're never late. So now that it's already lined up, I just go like this. Make sure that I'm lined up exactly where I need to be. And as you can see, it all lines up. Break the seam open. Take your paper out. And it's a tedious process, but honestly, it's a fun process because together, this is going to look really, really cute when it's done. So keep your eye on the prize when you're doing a big project. I've got my dog ears. We're going to snip those off. No need to keep them now, right? Then you're going to lay it down and literally finger press it all the way down the block. You're going to warm it to make that seam open up. And then, like I said, I count to about 10 just to make sure that I get it good and warm. Now I've got my seams here, and while it's warm, I go ahead and tap it. That really helps and gets it to lay good and flat. Then I'm coming down with the acorn. Now I'm going to let it sit again. Linda Denton, give Donna a thumbs up, 12. Oh, wow. 169 in the chat. Just a little click and done. Thank you, Linda. Yeah. I appreciate it. I don't know what else to say. Give a thumbs up if you like the content that we're putting out. It lets YouTube know that you do like it, and it keeps us in a good algorithm. So that is now how this piece looks joined together. So I'm going to lay that down, and that is my C to D. Now I'm going to take C, D, and E, and we're just going to work this just like a little tiny puzzle, and just go little bits at a time. And always make sure that your pin is corner to corner. That's the most important part right here. Walk it across and the pin in the other side. And I'll repeat this every step of the way because it's not just for you, it's for me. To make sure that I'm remembering to hit it exactly where it needs to be. Then I come in here to where I want my placements, pinch it, and then I'm going to clip it. I will stick this down like that, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out because it's going right under the needle. And I'm just going to go really slow down that seam. Pull the pin and cut. We're going to open it up. Check your alignment. Do the same on this side. You're going to roll that and rock it. And as long as you can see that's lined up there and it's coming here, lined up there and coming across your gold. And then just rub your seams and keep picking. That's all you're going to do all the way through this process. Let me see. Got a few in the chat I can talk about. Projects that they've got going on while I'm doing this. Because I think once you've seen a few pieces of the FPP, you've probably seen your fill. But everybody learns different and everybody pieces different. So let me see. We've got Sassy Steph in the house tonight. I'll talk about her just a little bit behind her back. She might be over at her long armor working, so I'm going to talk about her for a bit. Anyway, she is kicking off a few amazing projects over on her channel. They're ones you're not going to want to miss. If you haven't checked her out yet, please do. It's Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter, and she is Stephanie Harris. When you check her out, make sure that you've got the right one. That hammer makes me laugh. We were just talking about that while watching Becca. Does Becca use the hammer as well? Or is it just me? I don't care. I love my hammer. But anyway, back to Memoirs or Stephanie Harris. Anyway, she is going to be doing and leading a phenomenal project over on her channel. The first one that comes to mind is her temperature quilt. That's going to kick off, and you're going to be watching her channel over the next couple weeks as she's getting all of the information together for us. But I'm telling you what, the girls worked hard to make this happen for us. So we all kind of need to slip over there and make it happen and do this whole project all year long. I've always loved a good temperature quilt. So this is my opportunity to do one, and I'm going to follow along with whatever Miss Sassy Girl Stephanie tells us to do. It's going to just be fun. So now the next one is going to be, and as you can tell, I did not trim this down. So I must have got sidetracked because look at all of that. That would really jack my block up. Janine, glad you made it home, baby. So just make sure you're trimming and staying where you have your margin. That way your block is going to stay consistent. So now I'm going to take the B and bring it to the top. Now look how big that looks. All of that extra. But remember, it's going to turn into a little dog ear. So you're going to be able to take that off. So you're going to want to double check your pattern. It says B to C, D, E. We've got C and D and E. So now we're just going to join that all together. So flip it together, bellies down, slide it in here, and pin at the corner. I always go to the corner that does not have any extra pieces, no bulk, no joining, and that's going to be where I always start. It just helps me with the consistency of my blocks. I will lock that one in. And then I'm going to look here to where this line is right here. I've got my light blues that needs to match up. So right here is my line. And I'm going to flip it over and make sure I've got those lines clipped because it's really important that these guys line up. You're going to be able to see right here. That's going to be a dog ear that we're going to be trimming off. Sheila, I ordered the paper pieces for the temperature quilt today. I just bought the pattern but haven't chosen fabric for the upcoming quilt next week. Awesome. It's going to be fun. My great-grandmother always uses a hammer and a brick as a nutcracker. So many years for Christmas. That's cool. That is so cool. So just continue to line up your block. And this guy's name is supposed to be Chip, but I'm going to ask you guys as we're going along, because I will end tonight with 3 blocks left. We got to give this fella a really good name. Legit kids named him Chip, but you guys see how cute he is. We're going to have to come up with a cute name or a manly name because I'm going to be doing something really, really special with this one. So I might just let you guys give him a really nice name that'll stay with him forever. So just make sure you're finger pressing your seam, like I've said. And I just take my nails. That's why I keep my nails good and long. Because they're good for FBP, and to be honest with you. Pull him up there and just line this puppy up. Heat it up. Larry the Finch. That's cool. Make sure that I have him flat enough. And how cool is that? Because now the more you smack them, it's like extra paper flies out of places that you missed. So we've got that much done. So now we're going to mark it off and we're going to go to the next. We're going to take the F and the G and join those together. Golden boy. Oh, I like that. So we're going to take the F and the G and marry these little fellas. I just think he is coming along really nicely, and I'm thankful for the opportunity she gave me to play with this one. It's just fun. And Just make sure that you're looking on the back and you're getting all these points lined up. It's really important. And then I'm going to make sure I'm lined up right there. And that's perfect. So I can pop that one out. And I should have went to the corner and showed you, but I didn't. Honestly, there's times that I will literally just sit and make all of the parts of the project. It doesn't matter what it is. And then I will just put them all in a pile and then sort them out into whatever block number. You do what works for you, but I've been asked how I can get some quilts done pretty quick, and that's what it is. I just cut up all the parts, throw them in a bucket, a little bin here on my sewing table, and I just listen to a book or talk to friends and just quietly sew. And then when it's time to lay them all out, I put them into stacks A, B, C, D, all the way down, and then I break them down into their blocks and then lay them out on the design boards and then just join them together. It makes it work. Now here I've got my lines lined up like they're supposed to be. Finger press it down and just keep moving straight along. Lovely. I like that too. Rico, Shelley, Shady, Big Bang Theory reference. Oh, cool. That's cool. I like that too. You guys are giving me good suggestions. So we've got that one done. And we're going to come over here. And now we're going to join F and G to H. And as you can see, if you lay them out ahead, they're not hard to find your body parts. As you can see, my seams are lining up right on point by just sticking the needle in where you want that to line up. So if you do that, you're almost guaranteed golden. Doesn't mean you won't have a date with Jack. It just means that you're working the project like you should, and you're just having a good day with it. And I just wiggle it all the way around. Line it up there. And I've got to join in right here. So it's really important that I make sure that seam lines up. So yes, I will stick a pin in it. And then I'm going to take a pin right here and go straight through. And if the good Lord willing, because as you can see, you can't tell back here because we've got this lined up. But what I will do is open this up and see if I'm where I need to be. And then we're just gonna, I gotta turn that paper. We're gonna open it up. As you can see, your seams are lining up. And then we're gonna push it up and your seam lines up. Thanks. It would have just been a bluebird in disguise. Lovely was a bluebird. Aw. If a cat can change its colors, a bird can. Absolutely. Hi, Donna, Joe, Dahlia. Been cleaning and organizing my sewing room, but I needed to sit down for a break. You are always welcome to pop in and out whenever you would like. And we appreciate you joining us, sweetheart. Ace the Finch. That's cool. Yeah, I was going to message Beth and say, hey, girl, guess what? I'm going to work on your Finch tonight. But I thought, boy, it sat in her little drawer for a little bit in timeout. So I think it's going to be funny when it's done, and I'm going to shoot her a little video clip. That it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. I just think from the very beginning, this is the one that when she showed it to me, I was like, oh, holy goodness. I don't know if I'm capable of working a legit kit or not. It was quite the challenge to watch. And she was so excited when she got accepted into being a tester. So, as you can imagine, when she found out she was expecting, she had to put it on the back burner. And I'm just thankful that I've harassed her enough that I could take on this project. Because I love when there's a lot of points and things that have to line up. Call me a weird sewer, and it's okay, but I like to challenge myself in getting all the points lined up. Silly as it sounds, it's a challenge. Where do you get the acorn pen? I got my first one from a fabrics shop. The second one I ordered from Amazon. And if you give me a second, I'll drop my affiliate link for my Amazon in the chat with the acorn, and you'll be able to get it there. And that helps support our channel. So give me just a second, and I will do that. Sorry, sweetheart. My nose. What, baby? I know, too much dead air. I'm sorry, guys. He gets on me, and I'm trying my best. He likes to keep me talking, and I can't talk and look at the same time. It'd be like chewing bubblegum and walking. Not my cup of tea. Sorry I took too long. There it is. And if I'd have did better, I'd have had it in the chat. Guys, I'm sorry. Yes. Joe's going, I'll make you links for all that stuff. He sits over here. God love this man. Huh? Dead air. I know, babe. I wish you could see how hard it is. He's over here cracking the whip. Dead air, dead air, dead air. Where do you get the acorn? I dropped that. I'd call him. Ooh. Sunny boy. That's cool too. Make sure that you're lined up corner to corner. And it seems like when I'm really pinning in them key pivotal points, it really lines up nice. So just take the extra 10 seconds, and it's going to save you a date with Jack, and pin where you see those double lines. Make sure that the pin's hitting on both sides as you're going along. So let me ask the question in the chat tonight. It'll give me a little bit of an idea. Do you guys like lives, or do you prefer the pre-records? Give me an idea what you guys like. You like the pre-recorded, like 15 minutes or less tutorial videos, or do you like the lives where we get to visit a bit? Let me know what you think. Niter seed is what Goldfinch loves. I think the thistle would be lives, Teresa. Yeah, I'm hearing some on other channels asking the same question because we're trying to figure out what everybody likes. And I like to make you guys happy because I like to visit. Both? Okay. I go through quite a bit of this, and you can buy it by the gallons, or you can buy it in just the little jugs like this. Don't forget to smash that button. Absolutely. You're making a precision project look so easy. I think, honestly, Anne, it's really easy. In the very beginning, when I started these, I was petrified, and honestly, nothing hardly lined up. I just took my time with it, and I would practice. I would take a piece of cloth and just draw squiggly lines all over it in a couple places. Then I'd mark it 1, 2, and 3, and then I would sew that together just so that I could see what would work best for me. And Mike trusted me and brought me with legit kits to be a tester, and I took my good old time learning how to do it, studied the patterns, and I tell you what, I'm thankful and blessed that he trusts me with them, and I'm happy to be one of his testers. And it's just fun. I like both, but prefer the lives. Okay, let me see. Now we've got that puppy ready to go, and now we're just going to join this last section. Now over here is where I've joined, and over here I have not. So I'm going to start on the end where I have not joined anything. That's going to give me the best odds of making sure everything lines up. So stick your pin in. Make sure you're lined up here, and I'm a wee little bit off, but believe it or not, that little tiny bit can make a difference when you're joining these blocks. And I just like to let it hang and start walking my fingers down because I know this is one that it's right there. And then I'm just going to start walking it down like this. And I will stick a pin in here. Because when I definitely do not want to chance any shifting, I will pin it. Even a clip will shift every once in a while. And then here's where I really need to focus on lining up. Let me get the clip because I want to show you something when I get here. So what you can do before you ever sew is just open your pattern up, and you're going to see if you're lined up before you ever stitch. You can fold it and line it up. If you're lined up, you should be golden. This here, my fabric's really tight, so that's where what I like to do is go ahead and pull out because this is going to be tight getting it in. So let me get my, where they went? They're back up under the machine. So what I'm going to do, because it's really important that I get this in, so I'll show you a little cheat. Take the paper out of this corner. Because anytime that you're going into a corner and you've already got pieces joined and this is really tight into the corner, you want to make sure that this puppy lines up. So I'm going to strip the seam before I ever do anything else. Then I'm going to pull it gently and make sure I put a pin in it. And that's going to hold that in place. And as you can see, that pin is lined up really right there, right where it needs to be. And I'm sure now all of this block is going to come into alignment. So when you need your fabric to stretch just a smidge, strip that fabric out of there. Make sure that you have it damp with acorn juice or whatever. And it's just going to give it that little bit of a nudge. We'll start here and we're going to check the seam. And then we're going to come over here and we're checking the seam. So we're in. And we're just going to start popping this out. I like pins too. Tweety. Oh, that's cute too. So as a beginner, guess it is better to pin than use the clips till you get good at it. I would say, yeah. I like the pin, even if it's going to be something that I need to make sure that all of this goodness comes together. I would rather pin. It's going to force the fabric to stay where you need it. A clip gives you the opportunity for slippage, even when you've got them pinned where they need to be on the ends. So I would just, for me, it's a personal preference. Do what works for you. But I like to strip the fabric out of the seam and give it a little bit of extra stretch. Because as you're joining seams, it happens no matter how hard you try for it not to. It will get a little bit out of whack. Oops, I got a pin there. Goodness gracious. Got a pin there as well. So all of the points are lined up. So now we've got C4. Let me see, B's. So I can't do anything with C4 until I get all of the other goodness lined up and ready to go. So I'll be doing C row tomorrow, and we will get this puppy done. I'm going to square it just a little smidge here where it's a little bit off on the corner. This one's ready to go. So let me see. I've got B4. So I can lay these aside. Let me see. B1 and 2. I can go ahead and join those. So anytime you're joining your blocks and you think, oh my goodness, how am I going to get all of these lines lined up? That's why I kept this one for when I was with you. It's really easy. It's a lot easier than it looks. But the key to it all is just take your time. As you can see, I've got multiple places right here. Let me see if I can light it up with a highlighter. And you're going to have this with other patterns, not just this. But I'm going to show you right in here. There's 4 really important lines that you're going to need to line up. My first one would be here. My second one is here. My third is here. And then my fourth is here. So when I pull this back, I have 2 options. I can strip all of this out and manipulate it that it's going to work. Or I can start down here. As you can see, I'm going to have to make sure my pin is here, here. Because you want these to line up. So this has to line up here. This has to line up here. This, because I have this color right here that's going to line up right here. And these are going to line up. And then all of this has to line up. So there's about 10 places here that has to line up. What size does the blocks finish? The blocks finish at, I'm sorry, it's 7.5 by 10. And don't mind all of the muck on the front, like I said, because I'll be fooling with all of that tomorrow as I do a test for a lint roller. So I've got my first pin in there, and now I'm just going to work my way down the block. Here is where all of these colors have to line up over here. So I'm just going to stick a pin in everywhere where this line is. And I'm going to flip it over and make sure that I've got this manipulated enough that it's going to line up. Overkill with pinning, and I'm okay with it because I would rather take a couple extra seconds now and pin than have an infamous long date with Jack, because when you've got this many seams, I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to work my way up, and right here, this one and this one have to line up, and just fold it over and stick a pin in it. Come up to your next one and do the same thing. This one has to line, this one needs to line up right here. And that's what you're going to do. Just put a lot of pins in because you really want them to stay in place. Am I going to pin 5 pins there? Absolutely not. Not going to happen. But what I will do is do every few of them. And then I'll sew this really slow because as you hear me sewing it, you're going to hear the machine thud, 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 thud. You know? And it's just the way it happens. So, let's get stitching. And make sure that you're staying true to your 1/4 inch. And since you will not see this pattern again, other than I might do a little short or something and show this, I will show you how to strip out a block while I have you. Another possible one, Waldo. Ooh, I like that. Cheeto, no. And you know why. So as you can see, we are lined up here and we're lined up here. So let's flip it over before I do anything and make sure all of my key points are lined up. Like I said, don't mind all of the lint. Look here. Lined up, lined up, lined up, lined up. And it's all because of the pinning. As you can see, it's really hard to get these lined up. But sticking a pin right where you need it to, it will help you every time. So all we're going to do is have a little bit of a paper picking party because I can sew this together without worrying about getting it to line up. So what I'm going to do is just strip my seam just like I normally would. And then I'll show you a little cheat that I do when I'm doing a lot of patterns at one time. And then I'll call it a night with you. But I will get this stripped out. We're going to do this like we do any other pattern. You're just going to strip that seam. Pop the threads. Pop all of this little tiny papers out of here. And I'll leave it lay for a second. I think we all have long dates with Jack. Yep. And I would prefer not to, but I appreciate his kindness when he has to show up. Jack is a fine young man. So we'll let that sit there for just a minute while I'm running my fingers down this seam and going just ahead of it. And then I'll bring this over and I will start beating this little puppy into submission, because it really needs to be as flat as possible. Then up here. Like I said, don't worry about it, and no one's going to pull your quilt apart if your seam's laying a little bit off there, because the front, it's perfect. Make sure that you give it the acorn juice so that it does lay flat. And I'm telling you right now, without this, I could not get my blocks to look so nice. I would not get the outcomes that I do. So Joe, hello, hello. I prefer my pins over Jack. Me too. What kind of pins do you use? My pins are always bending. I don't know if you can see them. I'm going to turn it over here and see if you can see them in the cup. Maybe not. I'll see. These are wee little tiny sharps. And they came in a pack of 50 for like $4. These don't bend. They have bend to them, but they don't bend and stay. And I just really prefer them. I've tried multiple other ones and I just can't do it. So let me clean this up. Clean up this mess. Move my sewing machine out of the way. Get her turned off. And then I'm going to show you how to strip this block so that you'll know. I need to move some of this stuff out of my way because I don't want to accidentally throw anything of importance away. I'm going to have to turn my cutting mat. It's getting a little rough, babe. So we'll just leave that sit there. Okay, they look like a clover. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second, Joe, talk so I don't have dead air. I'm looking for something. Keep talking, babe. They can hear you. Here they are. This is what they are, baby. Well, I need the other camera, babe. I can't help it. You can't have an easy night. These are the clover. And it says art number 2507. Patchwork pins, and these are very extra fine. 100 pins in the pack. So what I like to do is I start in a corner and just do like you normally would when you're picking these out. Just have a good old time paper picking. But one thing I do is I always make sure that I leave this big little piece. Big little. That didn't make sense. This number always stays on once I start building a row. So I always know that's my left side of my quilt. And then you just strip them out like you normally would. And I like to do this when I'm watching TV, listening to a book. This takes a good bit of time. But what I want to show you is, because I think everybody has them, but I'm not sure, is like that little bit. What I use is this. I call it a little nub rub. It's a seam fix, and all I do is gently go over the seam, and it pulls that out. And then I go to the next block, just fold it back, and I just start picking, just like this. And it gets everything out for me. And when I get down into the seams, I like to do this now versus when it's a whole quilt. It makes it so much easier when it's time to finish getting this puppy put together, or I'm getting it ready for the long arm. I don't have a long wait because I've already ripped most of the paper off. I just leave, I like to call them landmarks. And if I see on the front that I've got all these lines that I need to line up, I make sure I put a pin in it. And as you can see, your fabric has quite a bit of stretch, and it's a lot easier to work with once you start getting this paper out. So anywhere that you really need to make sure that it's lining up for you, get the paper out. If you're having trouble getting it to work, pull the paper. Just make sure that you leave a marking of some sort that you're going to know where that block belongs. If you get called away from it, leave yourself a little post-it note with it. Because like I said, this is a tedious part of the quilting. And we all know that. But the outcome outweighs the tedious part. We all love FPP and its precision, but you just need to just sit with your friends and talk. Do whatever makes you happy while you're doing this. Have your husband do your dishes while you're sitting, picking, chatting with your friends. And you're going to do this. I'm not going to do the whole thing tonight. But just pull your paper. Once all of your paper is out, lay your block down and walk away from it. After you get them all joined, I like to just press like this. And anywhere that I can feel like my needle might give me a fit going through the long arm, I make sure I heat that up and I beat it. I really do. Because I don't want any issues when it comes time for me to build this quilt out. Or when it comes time to long arm it. I want it to go smoothly. I don't like broken needles and I don't like a lot of change. So I try to keep it all consistent. So let me look in the chat and see if we've got any questions. Let me go back today. Remember, hit the like button. That's good to know. I'm just trying to look. Cheeto, no. No. Then we can ask, where in the world is Waldo? Absolutely. It's a 30 by 40. A date with Jack, LOL. He and I go steady from time to time, Ian says. I think we all have. Absolutely. Janine, look at that beak coming through. He's going to be gorgeous. I'm just stoked. What kind of pins? I've already answered that. So, Joe, I prefer pins over Jack. Absolutely. They look like clover. Yeah, I drew a blank. Love your nails, Donna. Thank you. I like them. They're my favorite. Looks gorgeous. Both, the lives are great, but I can always catch them in time, but the tutorials give me the in-depth info. Absolutely. I'm thinking about, with our channel, adding a few little tutorials. Nothing fancy. Just little step-by-steps that if you're having trouble with something that we've ran over here on the channel, that you would have a little quick, like 15 minutes or less video that you could refer back to. That's the ultimate goal moving forward into 2024. So anyway, it's a little bit after 11 and I'm sorry I've detained you. So, I'll see you back here on Monday night. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll be live at 7 o'clock. Martha will be here with me because she has a little box opening. If her box ever makes it to her. It's been a little over a week and she hasn't gotten it yet. But it was on target for delivery today. And I'm not sure who else. I'm going to try to pull in a few other ones if they're willing. They might go down kicking and screaming, but I can work on the long arm while they're all chatting with yous. So that'll be kind of fun. So you guys take care. Have a fabulous weekend. God bless you. And if there's any updates on Harper, you'll be able to find those in my community tab, or you can get that off the Harper Strong page. Anybody wishing to donate, please send me an email and I'll give you that information as well. So have a fabulous evening. God bless you. Good night and take care.